Today, we're going to dig into something that can be tough for anyone on a journey of growth and self-discovery: how to stick to your truth, even when others try to spin a different story about you. Now, let's talk about the challenge of staying true to yourself when others might try to twist your reality to fit their own version of events. This struggle usually becomes most apparent when we begin to heal and set healthier boundaries. You might find yourself stepping back, reassessing your relationships, and noticing behaviors that previously seemed normal suddenly feel toxic. These realizations can be uncomfortable, not just for you, but for those around you too. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you grew up in a family environment where love and acceptance felt conditional, where trust was shaky and privacy didn't really exist. Maybe as a kid, this made you feel angry, misunderstood, and confused, but you didn't know why. And because that's all you knew, you just assumed this was how life is supposed to be. Then one day, as an adult, you casually mention your childhood experiences to some friends, and their shocked expressions make you realize, wait, that's not normal. This moment of clarity is when healing begins. You start to unpack these experiences and recognize how they shaped your beliefs and behaviors. But here's the tricky part. Once you understand your truth, there's a high chance that it will clash with the narratives that others, especially those who hurt you, have created for themselves. This isn't surprising. Many people think of trauma only in terms of physical or severe emotional abuse, but it's far more complex. It can be the product of years of subtle manipulation, emotional neglect, or conditional love, things that don't leave visible scars but cut just as deep. Often, these experiences result in something called complex post-traumatic stress disorder, a form of PTSD that develops not from a single traumatic event, but from a series of harmful experiences over time. A growing number of people are acknowledging these complex traumas, especially in our generation. They're standing up to redefine how they relate to themselves and their loved ones, breaking harmful cycles for good. However, this often means confronting those who caused or contributed to the trauma. And that's where the real test begins. If you find yourself facing resistance from someone after sharing your truth, it's important to recognize what's happening. It's likely that your honesty threatens the image of themselves that they've crafted. Maybe they see themselves as a loving parent, a supportive partner, or a good friend. Your truth challenges that image, and instead of facing it, they might attack your perception, deny your feelings, or even twist your story to fit their preferred narrative. When this happens, it can be tempting to back down, to think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it wasn't that bad. But remember, if you choose to bury your truth just to keep the peace, you're sacrificing your own peace of mind. The sad reality is that some people won't ever acknowledge the pain they've caused because it's too uncomfortable for them to face. But your healing journey is about you, not them. Their discomfort isn't your responsibility. So, if you feel you've hit a metaphorical brick wall, like they just won't listen or are trying to invalidate your experience, know this. That wall isn't about you. It's about their fear, their shame, and their unwillingness to confront the reality that your growth might just shine a light on areas they've neglected in themselves. If someone tries to guilt trip you with, "You've changed," understand that's actually a compliment. You should be changing. After all, you didn't come this far just to stay the same. Like Jay-Z once said, "Everybody looks at you strange, say you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same." Remember that you're working hard to evolve, not to conform to someone else's version of who you should be. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If they try to spin their own version of events or use your healing journey to manipulate you, know that you don't have to play along. You're not responsible for how they react to the person you're becoming. It's okay to step back and set boundaries that protect your peace. You can simply say, "I'm not okay with the way you're making me feel. I think it's best if I take some space." If they respond with anger, guilt, or shame, that's a reflection of their issues, not yours. You're allowed to step away from people who don't honor your truth, and you're allowed to refuse to engage in their twisted version of your story. Their narrative isn't your reality. So today, focus on your truth, not theirs. You are on a path of healing, of reclaiming yourself. That's something no one can take from you. Keep honoring that truth, even if it means shaking up a few people's comfort zones. Because in the end, the only story that matters is yours. And until next time, stay true to who you're becoming.